The 5 Ladies Thread. Hi, welcome to Garage Geeks. So I watched a video today from No Solution. He was promoting a new channel called On My Turntable. And On My Turntable has asked people to show 5 ladies. So of course, Scott at No Solution, he showed some heavy metal ladies and, you know, nothing I'd ever heard of course. But that's fine, because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm probably going to show a bunch of stuff that he would never, ever want to listen to in his life. Although, I might surprise him with my first entry. And actually, I pulled 5 and I was going to get rid of one. And then I went ahead and got videos for all of them. And then I was like, oh, I was supposed to only do 5. And I did it for 6. So, but here's the thing. We have to show one that we've actually been to a concert for. So I quickly pulled Linda Ronstadt, and I didn't get any videos for her because everybody knows Linda Ronstadt except for Kim at This Is Music. So there you go. There's Linda. I mean, she's phenomenal. Enough said. The reason I really wanted to do this is because when I was watching Scott's video, I immediately thought of Diamanda Galas, or Gallus, but I just always say Diamanda Galas. So this was a woman who, her sound is going to be annoying and grating to anybody who hears her for the first time. However, I was lucky to hear her back in the 80s. She put out an album called The Singer, and then she also did an album called Plague Mass. Now, I don't know which came first. I was introduced to both of them at the same time, and in fact, I think some of the tracks from The Singer are on Plague Mass. But what Plague Mass was this live concert done in a church. I think she was covered in blood or something like that. Now, this whole idea, just like, how did this ever get done? And she wrote this mass, which I believe was for her brother who died from AIDS or was suffering through AIDS, and it's called Plague Mass. And so I was immediately drawn to it at that time. And the lyrics, not only the singing is crazy, but the lyrics. For example, I have never forgotten the line, "The 8 legs of the devil are crawling up my spine." I don't know why. That line has stuck with me for years and years and years. It's still in there. It won't go away.
The devil has designed my death and is waiting to be sure. Plenty of his black sheep die before he finds a cure.
Diamanda Galas's voice and her singing is just intense. Now, this is something I would typically never listen to, but because I was introduced to her singing, because of that Plague Mass, and I was really interested, I started following her career, but some of her singing is not for the lighthearted. In fact, her album Shrieks, it sounds like it's something out of an insane asylum. It is too intense even for a horror movie. I don't know if I could ever just sit down and listen to that entire album. I've tried. I can't do it. I would never listen to that album with any of my pets around. I think that would just subject them to horrors. However, I have so much deep respect for Diamanda Galas, and in fact, I should be following her recent career. She just did her own thing. If you don't know about her, get ready for something wild. I would say start with Plague Mass and then try The Singer. And if you're interested in what she does with her voice, go on to some of the more avant-garde stuff, but it is not pretty. Now, the rest of this video, I'm just going to have my typical Garage Geek stuff. So I already showed Linda Ronstadt. I talked about Diamanda Galas. So next, I just grabbed 4 random albums. They were basically the first 4 females that I found. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Cleo Laine. So Cleo Laine, basically, I would guess what you would call a standards or torch singer. She does a lot more than that, but on this album, we're going to hear a cut that is a standard, but not for me.
With love to lead the way,
Russian play could guarantee.
Next, we're going to hear Julie London. Now, Julie London has a very, very smooth voice. I don't think it's as strong as Cleo Lane's, but she still has that torch singer type of voice. And we're also going to be able to compare, that one, her version of But Not For Me. And look at this gorgeous vinyl reissue. When I saw this, I had to buy it. It's just awesome. Now, this is the way a reissue should be done. Gorgeous.
With love to lead the way, I found more clouds of gray than any Russian play could guarantee.
I just realized I didn't need to show Linda Ronstadt because I've actually seen this woman in concert. Okay, so this is Andrea Marcovicci. Now, this I'm going to say is probably a singer that very, very few people know about. I'm actually a big fan of this type of music. Just a singer doing show tunes or classics or standards with a guitar or a small backing group. Now, this woman performed a lot in San Francisco and probably in New York. This one was recorded in the Plush Room in San Francisco. I found this copy. It was not signed to me, but I'm actually happy to have it. It's funny because it says up here, a digital recording. I really do like her voice, and we're gonna go ahead and hear a clip. I don't think the song is on this album, but we're gonna go ahead and hear a clip of her performing on, I think, a TV show.
Happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when.
So I guess you would call her kind of a cabaret lounge club singer. And my fifth album that I'm going to show is a woman whose album I've just had this album in my collection forever. It's not my typical fare. I don't know why. I think I was really attracted to the cover, and that is going to be Alberta Hunter, Amtrak Blues. Now, this is a blues album. She's definitely a woman who's older. Her voice isn't going to be as strong as some of the other players, but I would assume that she had a really, really long career, and this is an album, you know, from later in her life. I mean, it does show in her voice, but I still really admire this album.
With a heart that's true, talking about always. Yeah. When the things you plan need a helping hand, I will understand always, always.
So I want to thank On My Turntable for putting out this thread challenge, and also Scott at No Solution for making me aware. I already have subbed to his channel, and I encourage anybody in the VC to go ahead and find On My Turntable and go ahead and sub to him. A new VC member who needs that support. Looking over at my shelf, I could have used Sinead O'Connor, of course. She's amazing. As always, I want to remind you to please, please be more intelligent.